since the day that you approached that lady, how long did it took you to actually to be able to close that deal?
45 days, closed that with her.
How much money did you make with that particular deal?
$40,000.
So Miki, what were you doing before you became a real estate investor?
My background is actually in marriage and family counseling, and then I was a stay-at-home mom, a home educating mom. So I homeschooled my kids.
So how do you compromise being a family therapist? How do you use your background as a real estate investor today?
A lot of people in the foreclosure situation are very stressed and they feel like they can't trust anyone really. I've come across some people who are very suicidal, very, very hopeless. And I do think that the background that I have allows me to be a good listener and to just kind of take small steps with them and break it down and provide solutions and give them hope.
So did you ever thought about going through your career that you're actually going to use your background to become a real estate investor?
I think I'm very intuitive with people and connect well with them, but I did not think that it would help me in real estate investing.
How would you compare someone that is going through a foreclosure, who is having issue at home as a husband and wife that comes in for a counseling with you? How would you describe those two backgrounds or those two situations?
They're very similar. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot usually of them not taking any action. So they're in that situation because they didn't know how to solve those problems and they didn't take action. There's a lack of trust. So I think it's very similar. You come in and you deal with the stress first. I try to let them see I'm a real person. I can listen and understand their situation, try to help solve their problems.
And why do you love doing this?
Actually, I thought that real estate would be very far removed from counseling, but I actually am very thrilled that I can use my counseling background in this. I thought when I left counseling and went into real estate that I would not use those skills anymore. So I'm excited, that I get to use those skills.
And what excites you the most about being a real estate investor today?
Well, I like the idea that it's my time, that I can connect with people, solve problems, and make money.
How would you compare being a real estate investor versus a counselor or a therapist?
My time is still owned by someone else as a counselor, so this way I own my own time.
Where are you from originally?
Originally from Oklahoma, and I moved into Texas and actually grew up in the McKinney, Plano area.
That's cool. So when I moved from Brazil 20 plus years ago, I moved to Plano.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I was there for 2 years, and I don't remember much about it, but I used to live in Plano, so
okay.
That's awesome. Then when I became a real estate investor, I started door knocking in Plano, McKinney. Those was my hot spot, and it still is, for door knocking. So that's awesome. And how about your parents? What do they do for a living today?
My mother's actually retired, but for a long time she was a supervisor for quality control, kind of in manufacturing. My father owned a side business with furniture, and he kind of did the real estate on the side.
Do you remember which kind of real estate was he doing?
He did single family homes. He would buy really old homes, very dilapidated homes, and he would get them to a standard, and then we would move into those homes and live in those homes while he continued to rehab those homes.
So how many homes that you can think about it that you're actually, wow, this is another house? Do you remember how many houses did you guys went through that period?
I don't remember how many houses, but I do remember one specific house. It's on the historical registry for McKinney. It's now a venue in McKinney for wedding events and things like that. But we lived in that house while it was being rehabbed.
How did you decide to actually even come finding us into the network and the training? How did you find us? Did you have the opportunity to tell your dad that you were actually going to become a real estate investor yourself?